What's up, guys? Kind of introduction to myself. My name is CJ. Real name is Christian, so some people know me as both. It can be a little confusing depending on what name I choose for that day. Started out being like an old kind of hot rod pro V8 guy. Met my buddy Paul Love. He got me into EFs, and like I never really kind of turned back. I've owned a Civic Wagon probably since 2012. This will be my third. First was a brown RT from PA. It was super rusted out. Had that car for a little bit. Ended up blowing up the automatic transmission. It was automatic. It was not the six speed with the super low gear. But it was a cool car. It was a neat learning experience. But honestly, I think that car was cursed. Like I said, went through a couple motors and blew transmission up. And it was time to get rid of it. Ever since then, I kind of stuck to my manual two-wheel drives. This is my second blue two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive car. Started out, got it off of eBay, sight unseen, for $855. I actually never met the original owner, or I guess the previous owner. Paid the guy on eBay. He's kind of giving me a hard time, and I said, "Hey, look, dude, I need to pick this car up. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland." He was in Washington, D.C., and he left the title in the glove box, and I picked it up with the trailer and never turned back. This car has a bunch of service records. It was, I believe it was originally a California car, then it was in Arizona. Super clean when I first got it, like minimal rust. The right rear door had a little bit of damage that was repaired. But besides that, it was like the smoothest running. The clutch felt great, like tightest feeling wagon I've ever owned. Daily drove it for a couple years. Got me to and from college from Annapolis, which is about 45 minutes to an hour drive 2 times a week. The car was amazing. It treated me well. Since then, I've been through a couple cars. Just finished up restoring a E36 BMW M3. It was a cool car, but I'm a Honda guy. Come on, these things are way more fun, have way more character. So I sold that. This car's been sitting outside for literally a year. Hasn't really moved at all, let alone run. I feel bad. Like I said, this is my baby, but that's why I'm making these videos. Plan on doing a kind of restoration on it. Paint is going to be first. From there, I might do maybe a little bit of performance upgrades, maybe a supercharger, but right now, I'm going to keep it simple. So hope you guys enjoy. All right, everybody. So first things, we're going to go over the engine bay. As I mentioned before, it has been multi-point converted. This is original a front-wheel drive dual-point motor. As you can see, it does have a rover valve cover. It looked way cleaner before, but this car has been actually sitting for a year. It's been very neglected, but it's time to give it some love. Besides that, it's got an OEM Honda battery in it. That's basically about it. I do have a DA master cylinder and brake booster I do plan on installing. But besides the engine bay, I'm probably going to keep it somewhat stock. In the future, I would like to possibly install a Jackson Racing supercharger, but they are a little hard to come by, so that's kind of in time. But first, right now, is going to be paint and fixing all the rust, and then maybe a little bit of goodies after on. All right, going over the front of the car, as you can see, there is a bull bar installed. It is not a Beagle bull bar. It's kind of a fun joke that came up with. It actually is off of a Tahoe, and it was probably about like $40 on Craigslist. Threw together some hella, not really fog lights, but running lights or spotlights. As you can see, they kind of fell apart. I installed those probably about 4 or 5 years ago. So the sun and the weather has definitely taken its toll on it. Up front, again, I do have the EDM, JDM corner lights. And under the charcoal wrap, it's a 2-tone wrap, is definitely the blue RT bumpers. But again, this is not RT, this is just a front-wheel drive wagon. Still super rad. And that's about it up front. All right, going over the side of the car, as you can see, there is a pretty cool livery that I came up with. I wanted to kind of go with a period correct look. Paul with Fox Designs actually kind of came up with the idea to use the kind of rectangle shape, as you can see. If that looks familiar to some of you guys, it is actually based off of the rearmost quarter glass. So I was able to copy that shape and then match it with the lower trim. So it turned out really nice. The colors are kind of neutral, and again, it has that charcoal gray two-tone. Underneath is blue. Going back to the front here, do have these super cool Kiwi wheels. I picked these up super cheap. There's not too much information on them. I can kind of maybe post a picture of the original ad or original brochure when they first came out. They do have snow tires that I installed many years ago. They're holding up relatively well. Like I said, the car's been sitting for a while now, and I took it for its first drive yesterday. And although it's been sitting, there's really no vibrations in the wheel itself, so that was pretty cool. And that's about it for the side. One more thing to note, it does have the original OK sticker right next to my reproduction OK sticker. This is a second surface install, so installs just like the factory OK sticker on the back of the glass. I do sell these if you guys are interested. All right, the rear of the car, nothing really worth mentioning. This was originally a California car with very minimal rust, if any, and as you can see, after a couple years of Maryland snows and salts, the rust is starting to come through. This is actually my first wagon that I've had any issues with the rear taillight rust location. Going down the quarter, little spot here, and probably under that vinyl is going to look really nasty, but pretty confident that be able to fix that and make it look nice. Going back to the back, nothing too crazy. Repping the Fox Designs website at the top there. All the badging is really clean, so I don't think it's going to be a pain to replace it. Like I said, I think it's just going to be worth keeping everything. The taillights are really clean. There's a couple of small scratches and cracks, but they're not too bad, and clean them up pretty well. Again, on the other side is a little bit of rust here. Down here is pretty good. This door was paintless dent repaired, unfortunately, so it does have a couple of dents in the bottom. And then on the inside of the door, they actually had to take a hole in to punch the dents out. There was a scratch here. When I first got the car, there was like a big blotchy primer mark, and I was able to kind of remove that primer paint and see what was underneath of it. It's not too horrible, but a couple scratches. All right, that's about it. All right, interior of the car. Did a lot of driving in this car. I have yet to clean it. Like I said, this thing's been sitting for a year. I haven't cleaned all my crap out of it, but it used to be my daily driver. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of stuff in here. It's relatively clean, but kind of embarrassing. There's stuff all in the doors, some CDs. Also something to point out, reproduction please lock door decals, also sell these as well. They're pretty cool. The size and specs are true and have been calibrated to match the actuals, so they're pretty damn close. Going into the interior, when this car was my baby, I actually recovered the seats. Something that I kind of discovered that was a pain was these are actually 9091 seat covers with the automatic seat belts. They are a little different. When I first swapped everything, they were pretty clean, but as you can see, it's starting to kind of show through again at the bottom side. The last wagon actually recovered the seats. And what you do is you just take the passenger side cover and then just transfer it to the driver's side. As you can imagine, the passenger side's a little bit cleaner than the driver's side. So I did that. Threw a little armrest. I believe I got this from Bill, and was missing the top, so I kind of retrofitted the top piece, threw in a little Home Depot hinge, called it a day, and then rewrapped it with that same material. It used to be nice and tight and minty, but like I said, over the years, it's kind of starting to fall apart. Something else to point out is this really cool shift knob. One period of time, I was all into Miatas. I actually worked for a spec Miata race team, and this was based off of Joy Fast, I think was the company, as far as the shape. So I actually did put that on a lathe and turn that up and came up with this design here. My buddy actually pointed out that it does look very similar to the S2000 shift knobs. I had no idea. Another wood item at the top is these little kind of dash inserts. I routed these out a long time ago on a laser cutter, and I had a full set, but I'm not too sure what the other side is. I know my buddy Paul loves actually running both sides on his sedan. You guys might know it, Peanut. It's a white 35XT clone. Really cool car. Yeah, it's about it. The steering wheel is from Paul's sedan. I do have an aftermarket 90s, like really cool retro cruise control setup that's still in the box. It was actually on my previous two-wheel drive wagon, and I have yet to put it on. What it is, it's a whole control unit that goes in the engine bay, but then you have another stalk. Looks very similar to this. I think I just hung mine below it, and it allows you to control cruise control. Really neat piece. Never seen it before, but basically it's a plug and play, like period correct 90s or maybe early 2000s cruise control unit. Do have floor mats in here. I think these are out of a CRX. It could be very wrong. It's like I said, it's been a while since I've kind of looked around this car. As you can see, the the passenger side just doesn't fit very well. That's kind of about it. Aftermarket radio. Like I said, this is my daily driver. I wanted to jam out the tunes, but I have a whole handful of different factory radios I'll probably throw in this car once I get it all up and running again. Let's see, open the back seat for you guys. Woo! A little rusty. All right, like I said, I just got a whole bunch of junk in here. This was my daily driver, and I really didn't clean it as much as I should have. But it's been an amazing car, and now it's time to show it more love. Sit in the car here and show you guys a little bit more. So if you look up, the headliner doesn't fit perfect. This is a really clean headliner that is actually out of a 9091 with the power seat belts. So it does fit in the back really nice, but up front, as you can see, there's a little gap here. The retractable seat belts are a little bit fatter, so it run down this column. It's part of my issue. But in the meantime, like I said, it was a really nice clean cover, way better than my original one. And I still have the original one. I'll probably end up recovering that because it fits a little bit nicer. Yeah, let's see, the back here still has the blankets that I would use for laying down on my seats to protect the seats from when my dog was back here. I'm recently upgraded to a Honda Element. I love that thing, and it's much better for the dog, a little bit more room, easier to clean. And see, that's kind of about it. Here's the back side of the armrest. Pretty cool piece. And shot from the back seats. Hey everybody, so that's about it with the car. Be sure to kind of follow my videos. This is something that's kind of new to me. It's kind of awkward to be honest, but I love the car so much and I love watching YouTube videos, so I figured someone else would enjoy the same process and the same car as me. Next week, I do have a little bit of a surprise. I'm pretty excited for what's about to happen. Should be next Sunday, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah, it should make building this wagon much more fun and a lot easier, and don't have to deal with sorting parts. So just a little teaser there. But thank you and have a good one. Thanks.